Good morning to all of you. I think today I present myself to give you this very important part of the course. It is the International Sports Organization. First of all, talk about the International Sports Organization. You cannot get away from the Olympic movement. What is the Olympic movement? Olympic movement, I think if you look the Olympic movement chart, then you will see IOC, IF, and the National Olympic Committee are three most important pillars. They representing different stakeholders in the Olympic movement. First of all, we talk about the IOC. IOC, it is founded, I think I would say it was founded in 1894 in Paris. During that time, the founder is Pierre de Coubertin. Pierre de Coubertin is a French, he's an educator. He founded because during the late 19th century, it's very similar to the I think the ancient Greeks, because of the situation involved a lot of war, battles, fighting each other. So I think the people during that time, they all looking for a peaceful life. But how to give a peaceful life? I think to revive the Olympic Games, Olympic movement, it is very, very important. Sports representing many things. Many people love sports. Through the sports competition, people can find many important values. And this value can initiate and also can give the people a future hope that through the sports, maybe we can have the peace. So because of that initiative by Pierre de Coubertin, so he created the Olympic movement. This is how the modern Olympic Games eventually happened. After he founded the Olympic movement, I think the IOC also followed the Olympic movement to set up this International Olympic Committee. IOC, the original founder, is only 13 members, but however, they all have the same idea. That is, through the Olympics, can bring the people an opportunity to realize peace is coming through the sport. However, to create Olympic Games, it is also very important. So therefore, 1896, the 13 originally founded, then they created the Olympic Games. The first game was in Athens, in Greece. Because of the original games was in Greece. So this has a very significant meaning. That is the modern Olympic Games is coming back. IOC is an organization, I think not only 1894 founded, but how to continue how to substantially continue this movement become a very, very important task for the IOC. So IOC, after founded, then from the originally only few countries can take part in the Olympic Games. But however, the continuation of these games through the effort of this originally founded. Then eventually 1896 and 1900 and 1904, the Olympic Games start to continue. I think the Olympic movement, we talk about the Olympic movement, maybe it is as we see the Olympic value is now the most important in the Olympic movement. Through the games, many young people, the athletes, to take part in the games. But how can they learn from the games? Through the competition and through the very important Olympic value. Now we ended like excellence, because every athlete in the competition, you have to follow your best, looking for the excellence. And then the value of the respect, because respect is a very important part of the Olympic movement. Among the people, you have to learn to respect your opponent, respect your competitors, because through the respect, then you can generate the friendship afterwards. So excellence, respect, and the friendship become the most important part of the Olympic value. This value, I think, continue to be respected by all the people in the Olympic movement. I sometimes spoke to my students or to other athletes. I said, if you don't realize this Olympic value, then you'll never learn the development of the Olympic movement. Either I think the surrounding you, the people surround you, you should influence them. Let everybody in the Olympic movement fully respect this value. Olympic Games, we have the winning and the lose. If we don't have this value bearing in mind, the athletes, if they lost, they complain. The people winning this, if they don't respect the loser, then I think it loses the meaning. Because if you win this time, but you cannot guarantee, you can always win. So winning and lose are the life of the competition. So I think the Olympic value, through this, I think let more people to realize the very important part of this Olympic movement. I think the IOC, people sometimes ask, who formed the IOC? Based on the Olympic Charter, the IOC member totally up to now, not exceeding 115. This including 70 individual members, 15 athletes members, and also 15 National Olympic Committee representatives, and 15 from the International Federation. Because of this composition, total IOC member not exceeding 115. Because of this control the number of this membership in the IOC, I think make the entering into the IOC, become the IOC member was not very easy. You have to perform your involvement in the Olympic Games, Olympic movement. Also, I think the understanding of the value of the Olympic Games. So I think the IOC, based on this, select totally not more than 115 members. The members, then I like to talk about the organization. IOC, according to the IOC Charter, we have the IOC Session. Session means a General Assembly, the meeting of all the IOC members once a year. So the meeting called the session. This is the supreme organ of the IOC, decision-making organs. And during the IOC session, all the members gathering, I think have many different decisions we need to make. Most important, I think very obviously, is to amend the Olympic Charter. Olympic Charter was created long time ago, but through the years, we have to make adjustment. So we have the amendment of the Olympic Charter by session, by all the IOC members, by voting, proposed by the Executive Board, and then through the voting, then session make the decision to make the changes. Apart from the IOC session to make the amendment of the Olympic Charter, to elect all the officials, because in the IOC, all the members, all the executive members, and have to be elected by session. Even the IOC president, IOC vice president, IOC executive board members, through the election, then they will confirm their duties. The IOC, apart from the session, day-to-day work are organized and decided by the IOC Executive Board. Executive Board consists of 15 members, 1 president, 4 vice presidents, and 10 IOC members. They become the Executive Board members. So totally 15. They're gathering every 3 months. During 3 months Executive Board meeting, many related detailed decisions need to be made in order to proceed the IOC work. So Executive Board is the really most important, powerful organ in the Olympic movement. I was the IOC elected EB member from 2012 until this year. I think during this time, when I was sitting in the IOC Executive Board, we have so many things to decide. So it is a very demanding job. But all the IOC members, they all like to be elected to be the executive board member, because this is let the IOC member to experience how to make decision for the Olympic movement. How the IOC Executive Board member gathering with the president, 4 vice presidents, 10 members, and through these 3 days meeting, and you realize so many decisions we can see from the media, but in fact, they were made by the IOC Executive Board. Executive Board elected 4 years term, but it can be re-elected only once. So 8 years sitting on the Executive Board. And then after end of the 8 years, the IOC Executive Board member will leave the Executive Board and have to stay out of the Executive Board for 1 year. After that 1 year rest, then come back, running the election again. IOC president, many people knows the president is the most important position in the IOC. He was elected by the members. So every IOC member are eligible to be elected to the IOC president. But however, because it is a heavy duty, so not all the members can be elected, but have to through a very tough competition. Myself, I was the candidate for 2013. I stand up and also put my name and as a candidate for the IOC president. Through that election, I fully realized if elected to be the IOC president, your work and the task is endless. 24 hours a day, I think 30 days a month. No rest, no holiday. continue to work. Even through the election, I have to travel through all the members to meet with them, discuss my candidature for the president. And then I think through that kind of face-to-face communication, and the other members can ask questions. Why you want to be the president? Then you can brief them. The reason I want to be the president, because I have many ideas in the Olympic movement. I need to be the president then to put forward my ideas. And so that is a very, very challenged, I think, process. Although I was not elected in 2013, but I must say, I received a lot of support. I was elected by all the media, international media. I was among the 6 candidates. I was on the top by the poll. The poll said CKWU is the highest poll by international readers. They elect me, but however, come to the election, 2013, I was not able to make that happen because very tough competition. There are 6 candidates. And the president can be elected for 2 terms. The first term is 8 years. After 8 years, then they can run for the second term for another 4 years. So totally, IOC president is for 12 years terms. And so I think 2013 was the election year for president. Next year, after 8 years, 2021, will be another election year for the president. As far as I know, current president Thomas Bach will continue to run for the president. After he was elected, another 4 years. Then 2025 will be a new president coming from the IOC members. So this is the IOC Executive Board. President of the IOC, representing the IOC and presiding over all of the activities. So there are many, many activities, Olympic Games, Olympic meetings, sessions, Executive Board, etc., all presided by the IOC president. Because there are only 2 terms, so I think during the presidency and during the terms of the president, he will develop many ideas. And during the campaign of the president, he will put forward a lot of his manifesto, what he's going to do, why he wants to be the president. And all the members can supervise, actually, to see all these commitments, whether it will become reality or is not really executed. So this is very important to let everybody knows. IOC session, executive board meeting, and then the IOC board composition, and also the president. After this, I think the Olympic Games. IOC owns the most important properties are the Olympic Summer Games, Olympic Winter Games, and the Olympic Youth Games. These 3 most important properties belong to the IOC. But how to organize the games? We have to go through a session to decide. So Olympic Games, we know this year supposed to have the Tokyo to organize the games. But because of the virus, the coronavirus affect the world, affect the sports. So this year was postponed until next year. But Tokyo was elected 7 years ago to host the Olympic Games 2020. That means 2013, we decided to give the games to Tokyo. Tokyo received this award to organize the games. During these 7 years, prepare all the infrastructure, all the venues, and all the preparation if necessary. So it is a huge, huge duty and a challenge to organize the Olympic Games. After the Summer Games, then the Winter Games. The first Winter Games started from 1924 in France, in the city of Chamonix. Chamonix was organized the first Winter Games, but after that, every 4 years, until 1992, when the Olympic Summer Games given to Barcelona. Suppose the Winter Games also in that year go to France, go to Abbeville. But IOC felt within 1 year, Winter Games in January, February, Summer Games in July, August, it is too much heavy program for all the National Olympic Games, Olympic committees, because National Olympic Committee duty is to organize their team to take part in the Olympic Games. So if 1 year have the twice of the organization for the athletes to go to the games, too much. So IOC amended the constitution, amended the Olympic Charter, make the Olympic Games, the Summer Games and the Winter Games are separate. So every 2 years, we have the Winter Games. After 2 years, Summer Games. So with that kind of adjustment, make everybody easier. For the organizers, for the National Olympic Committees, we can easy to organize the team, go to the Olympic Games. For IOC, we have the Olympic Games department. They are very, very busy throughout the whole year preparing for the games. I think Youth Olympic Games was created 2010 when the former president of the IOC, Jack Roger, he felt we needed to create a new event. It's called the Olympic Youth Games. For the young people, before they go to Olympic Games, they take part in the Youth Games. So the first Youth Games was created in Singapore in 2010. And after 4 years was in the city of Nanjing in China. And then I think 2018, then in the city of Buenos Aires in Argentina. So every 4 years for the Youth Games, plus every 4 years for Summer Games and the Winter Games. So these three properties are the most important. The Youth Olympic Games, after that, IOC felt we should also create a Youth Winter Olympic Games. So that was the beginning in 2012 in Innsbruck, in Austria. We did have the first Asian Youth Winter Games. And the last one was then create, we hope this can be continued because in Korea, in Pyeongchang, I think also wants to host the next Youth Olympic Games, Winter Games. So the Summer Games, Winter Games, Youth Games, and the Youth Winter Games. So these are the most important properties of the IOC. To host the Olympic Games, every National Olympic Committee are eligible because IOC will send invitation to 2006 National Olympic Committees to invite them if you wish to put your city from your country to host either the Summer Games, Winter Games, Youth Games, you can prepare. So these are according to the IOC Olympic Charter. So many countries, the National Olympic Committee, first together the relevant the government to support. to get the approval and then submit the application to the IOC and bidding for the Olympic Games, either summer, winter, or youth games. So this has been in practice for many years. Sustainability, because this is very important. To organize the Olympic Games, it will take a lot of effort for the hosting country. We could say, before becoming the Olympic Games hosting cities, it is in the preparation to put forward their names, to bidding for the games. They need to prepare many things: the Olympic venue, the infrastructure, and many other related activities, including the culture, education. All of these are for the hosting, for the bidding city. They need to prepare and present it to the Ioc session. Let the Ioc member to listen and also to raise questions. And after respond the questions, and then by voting, the majority vote of the bidding city then can become the hosting city of the Olympic Games. So this has been in practice for many years. After the games awarded to the city, then the next most important step is to prepare an organizing committee for the city, then prepare and to put all the resources and the support into the preparation. On the IOC side, IOC will also create a coordination commission. Coordination commission representing the IOC, IF, and the NOC worldwide to supervise the organizing committee to prepare the games. I was appointed to be the IOC Coordination Commission for many times. So Winter Games, Summer Games, I have been all involved. Since the IOC member appointed to the Coordination Commission, you have to be considered your specialty. I'm an architect, so I was appointed always to look after the building, architecture, and construction. So this is related to every individual member who appointed to the Coordination Commission. You have to bear in mind your specialty have to perform and to represent the IOC to supervise the preparation of the games. Olympic Games, we can see the sports is very important. How many sports involved in the Olympic Games? I think the IOC create Summer Olympic Games, a core sport, 28 of them, and then give the organizing committee of the games. You can pick it up some non-Olympic sports and including in the program, and then added on top of the core sport, then they become the total Olympic sport for that games. For instance, Tokyo is the first time IOC give the right for the organizing committee to nominate some new sport. Apart from the 28 sports, these additional 5 sports have been proposed to the Ioc Executive Board for approval, including of karate and mountain climbing mountain, and also I think the surfing, also street dancing, and all these sports are not in the Olympic Games, but Tokyo proposed them, and the Ioc Executive Board approved. So now in Tokyo Olympic Games, total sports will be 33. So this is a new, I think, the reform from the IOC. Give some of the non-Olympic sports opportunity to be included in the Olympic Games. But this only for one term. After these games, next organizing committee can propose another new sport. So Paris 2024, they are the hosting country. So they are also preparing to propose new sport. So this is, I think, a new measure, a new, I think, development of the Olympic program. I think within the Olympic Games, apart from 33 sports from the Tokyo, each sport, then they have many events, like track and field, the athletic championships or athletic competition. You have so many different events. I think among the Olympic Games, I think track and field is one of the sports they propose many events. One event, the winner can receive 1 gold medal. So more events of the sport, more gold medal can be earned by the athletes. So I think this is, I think the IOC creation of the sport important, but also need to consider how many events for each sport. I was the president of the International Boxing Association. In the boxing, originally, I think we only have 10 categories. Now, during my presidency, I increased to 13 events. So it means we can receive 13 gold medals, including men and women. Women was not included, but the IOC policy tried to ask every international federation, doing your best to include more women's events. Because more women representing the gender equality. So it means IOC want to promote this very important concept. Men and women are both important in the Olympic Games, in the Olympic movement. And I think because of this very important concept, many women now can sit in many international organizations, become the executive board member of the International Federation. Also, among the National Olympic Committee, IOC encourage women should be more active, take part in the administration of the sport. So, but I think coming back to our country, I think we still a shortage of the women representation in the administration, in the organization. Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee, I think, just for instance, women sitting on the executive board is not reaching the standard IOC asked for, because hopefully it can be 50-50. But the IOC itself, I think, increase more women members, try to reach 50-50. The last Olympic Games in Brazil, I think the total participants of the athletes is almost reaching 50-50. Means women athletes, in fact, it was 47.5%. But I think the Tokyo was originally thinking to increase more women, become 50-50 athletes in the Olympic Games. But this is a very important development trend to let more women to be in the Olympic Games. I think with the coming Olympic Games, you can see Tokyo, we postpone until the next year. After next year, 2022, the Winter Games will be in Beijing and Zhangjiakou, I think 2022. After Beijing, we'll then have the 2024 Summer Games in Paris. Paris, after that, IOC made the decision a few years ago to award the Olympic Games to 2 games. So 24, 28, both awarded. 28 go to Los Angeles, and 32 still open for future candidate to bidding for the Olympic Games. So these future games give the opportunity, particularly IOC encourage, like the youth games, to first time given to Africa, to encourage the African countries to face the challenge to organize the games, also help to develop the country, and also not only in the sports, economic development also will be considered. So this is the coming Olympic Games. Talking to next, apart from the IOC, I think we talk a lot on the IOC. It's quite clear. The value, the IOC composition, and the IOC members, and the Olympic Games, etc. Now we come to another very important part of the Olympic movement, is the international federations. We have the games, but without the sports, we cannot have the competitions. The sports then rely on the international federation. As I mentioned, the Olympic sports in the summer games, 28 core sports plus the sports nominated by the hosting country. So 5 new sports added to the Tokyo Olympic Games, so make to 33. International federation, they have very important task. They control that sport. Under this international federation, they have many national federations. For instance, when I was the president of the AIBA, the boxing, I have 2003 national federations. And 2003 members, we have a gathering once a year. All the members gathering talk about the common interests, how to develop the sport, particularly decided the many technical rules, and also the technical appointment, like who shall be the international official for the Olympic Games, for the national or the international championships. So these are important for the IF. IF elect their own president, their own the executive board. So I encourage many of my fellow members. The main purpose of this course is try to training, give the opportunity to bring our own national official into the international official, and become the executive board member, and eventually to running for the election for the president. Although it's not easy because it's very, very limited. Competition is very high. So the International Federation, because it's non-governmental, so usually it's no any government to interfere of the administration of the International Federation. International Federation rely on the Olympic Games revenue, because after the Games, IOC generates a good revenue from the television, broadcasting. This money then shared by all the international federation and the National Olympic Committees. And the IF, you can maybe reading the current newspaper report, because many international federations, due to the postponement of the Tokyo Olympic Games, IOC received no television money, and then no money income, then how to share with the IF. So International Federation asked the IOC to make a loan to them to run the administration of the IF. So this is the situation. IF, they need to run that sport, develop that sport during the games, most important. So based on the technical rules, and appoint international technical official, and appoint the referee and the judges. And this rely on them to execute the technical side of the sports competition. So IOC said this is another important pillar to support the Olympic movement. With the IF support, with the IOC itself, then I think the Olympic movement can start to develop. So I put this totally, there are 47 recognized summer Olympic sports. Only 28 are put into the Olympic Games as the core sport. So many of them, the other, I think it's 19, they are waiting and pending outside the Olympic movement, waiting to be taken by the IOC, put into the Olympic Games. There are many IF, you can see, the FINA, FIBA, FIB, and international ITU, and many, many sports. I just put to you the football, basketball, volleyball, and track and field, and also handball, boxing, taekwondo. All of these are Olympic core sport. And are called, because core sports will be protected by the Olympic Games. So they are guaranteed to receive the Olympic revenue. This financial revenue becomes very important income for the IF. For the winter sports, totally 15 recognized by the IOC, but in the Winter Olympic Games, there are only 7. So 7 plus the 7 also IOC not open for non-Olympic sports proposed by the organizing committee by the city. But still, I think many non-Olympic sports in the Winter Games, and they hope one day they will be included. But this is 15 of them. The IF, I think they formed their own association, like the Summer Games. Summer Games, they formed this ASOIF, ASOISF, ASOIF. ASOIF is 28 of them. They all become members. Now the new sports in the future Olympic Games, they also put it inside. So this organization based in Lausanne, and then they discussed their International Sports Federation's interest. I was the vice president of this association, and I fully understand all the IF gathering together for the games. The most important things for them is how to make more share of the Olympic television revenue. IOC divided into the 5 different categories of the International Federation to receive, share the Olympic revenue. I think number 1 is track and field. Track and field because it's the biggest event and also the sport in the Olympic Games. So they receive a lot. Second is swimming. Swimming and also basketball. And another categories is like boxing and I think like badminton and table tennis. All of these I put in the other category. But however, when the ASOIF gathering, all the IF representative, all the president gathering talk about, we want more, we want to upgrade to receive more revenue. But however, it was not easy. You need to base on the performance during the games. Many spectators and also tickets sold and also television rating are all these factors to decide it, who shall be in which category. Summer have the summer they ASOIF. Winter also gathering together. The 7 winter sports also have this AIOWF. This is Winter Sports Federation Association. This is also based on Zurich. In Zurich, I think they're gathering also regularly to discuss about their interests and also their sharing of the revenue. Apart from the summer, winter, there are still some international federation not belong to the summer, not belong to winter, but they are gathering sometimes with summer, winter together, then form the association called the GASF. Now we call the Sports Accord. This is the biggest organization. Olympic sports, non-Olympic sports, summer, winter, and recognize the federation, but not in the Olympic Games. Altogether is around 150 members. This is the Sports Accord. They're gathering once a year, promoting many things related to the sport. So this is a very important organization in the Olympic movement. Next pillar, we talk about the IOC, the International Federation. Another important part is the National Olympic Committee. We call it NOC. Currently, IOC recognizes 206 National Olympic Committees. National Olympic Committee and the IOC is by recognition, not by member. IOC has its own member, but IOC only recognizes IF and recognize the NOC. So Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee is one of the recognized National Olympic Committee. The mission, very important for the National Olympic Committee, is to develop, promote, and protect the Olympic movement in the country. This certainly is based on the Olympic Charter. Most important is to maintain its autonomy. You have to resist all kind of pressure. Many pressure usually from the politics, religious, or other interest parties. So NOC, you need to build up your resistance to all of this outside pressure. And because you can resist, then you can maintain your autonomy. But however, IOC emphasizing, maintain your autonomy is not to against all those potential pressure. Particularly, the government play the role. In fact, every National Olympic Committee received the financial support from the government. So you need to maintain a very good partnership. It's not by opposition, not by against. It is a partnership, working together for the best interests of the Olympic movement, the best interests of the sport. Is working together. It's not by confrontation. It is a good coordination and a good partnership. The IOC Olympic Charter made it very clear the composition of the NOC. It is all the recognized Olympic sports representative sitting as an ex-official, non-election. IOC member in the country used to be the IOC member and the IOC honorary member. Both are in the country are also ex-official, and also selected representative from different, I think, categories. Maybe sometimes from the athletes, from the maybe few of the government official, because they are supporting the Olympic movement, so they are included in the Olympic Committee. So these are the composition. But the composition of this, I think in our country, in Chinese Taipei Olympic Committee, we have to maintain very fair and open. Those people can make contribution to the Olympic movement. They can be invited to become the member, but very important, not by any people have the commercial interest or political interest, then put into the composition of the National Olympic Committee. All the NOC, as I mentioned, 206 of them, they have the international organization to bring all of them together. Then it's called the ANOC, ANOC. This ANOC, in the past, when gathering once a year, I think all the NOC representatives sitting together discuss about the same, their own interests, the benefit, how to develop the sports in the country. So all of these are the ANOC responsibilities. Also, I think ANOC, I must mention, a very good friend of us, the former ANOC president, the Mario Vasquez Rania from Mexico. He was the president for many, many years. And he's a good friend. He visited Taiwan and also fully understand our situation. This is the ANOC. IOC respect the ANOC because ANOC have 206 Olympic members and can representing a very, very important role in the Olympic movement. So that is why IOC put them as a very important partner. Continental NOC, Asia, Europe, and Oceania, and America, and Africa. They all form the Continental Association of the National Olympic Committees. So when they put together, they form their own games. So we have the Pan-American Games, Asian Games, European Games, African Games. These continental games also become very important and fully recognized by the IOC as another very important Olympic sports games. In our Asia, we all know the Asian Games. Asian Games, we talk about the OCA, Olympic Council of Asia. I am involved in this for many years. This organization originally is called the Asian Games Federation, AGF, founded in 1948. And coming to 1922, then transformed to the OCA. OCA consists of 45 Olympic committees in Asia. They are the members. They can take part in the Asian Games, Asian Championships, because the Asian Games is very unique. They have many, many sports in the Asian Games. There is no limit. So who organizes the Asian Games can propose new sport. So it's always having round about 35 sports, even sometimes more in the Asian Games. So Asian Games also open to the members who want to organize the Asian Games can put forward the application. The application received by the OCA, then through the General Assembly of all the members, then they voted and decided. We have been trying several times, but not successful. We do hope one day the Asian Games can come to our country to host these important regional games. Asian Games, as I said, they are originally called the Oriental Games. 1948 became the Asian Games Federation, and 1982 then become the Olympic Council of Asia. So the past games were all familiar, the Asian Games. The later one you can see 2002 in Busan and 2018 in Jakarta. And so next Asian Games will be in Hangzhou in China. Asian also having the Winter Games, and think can host the Asian Winter Games, not very many countries. in Asia is Japan, Korea, and also China. Only those three countries host the games before. Now added Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan also interests for the Winter Olympic Games, although last time they lost to China, but I think they will be a rising force in the winter sports. So Kazakhstan, China, Korea, and Japan are the countries who wish to organize the future Winter Games. And Asia also having the beach games, a very new sport. All the sports happen on the beach. The most important, and probably many people heard about, the beach games during the Olympic Games is very, very popular, difficult to get a ticket. And because it is a very competitive sport, everything is on the sand. You know the sand, sometimes you stand on, difficult to get the response. So that's why you need additional training in order to perform well in the games on the beach. Asian Youth Games, Singapore hosted 2009, and also Santou in China, also they organized the Asian Youth Games. This is open, maybe for the future. Our country, we can think about how to prepare and host the Asian Youth Games. And also another games is the indoor games and martial art games. Martial art is including all the competition, martial art, and it's very popular. But I think one thing you can see we are going to face is the e-games, electronic. So these are my presentation to the International Federation, to the NOC and the IOC. I hope this can give all the participants an opportunity to understand, to realize this is absolutely essential to everybody involved in the international sports to understand the background and how they perform their duties, their functions, and also their responsibilities. So I think I could say now is to conclude my presentation to all of you. We just finished talking about the IOC, IF, and also NOC. However, Olympic movement covers a very wide range. I can talk about something apart from the three pillars we just mentioned, like the broadcasting. Broadcasting is very important, means television. Olympic Games rely on the IOC's broadcasting. Without the television, without the audience can stay at home to watch the games, Olympic movement cannot develop so fast. So the broadcasting, so IOC create IBC, International Olympic Committee owned this IBC. Then this is based on the in Spain, in the capital of Spain. So because of this setting up this IBC, then we can start to film many games, competitions, and be put into archive. Then this is a very valuable collection of the international sports. So broadcasting is very important. Every Olympic Games, one of the requirements is that they need to create a broadcasting center and also the media center. These are the essential part to support the Olympic Games. And to create this, it means all the journalists, they come to the games, they working in the IBC, MPC, but however, who look after their accommodation? So the media village you have to create to let all the media, the press, the journalists can stay there. So it is another important part. So broadcasting, I just briefly touch this and let you know the important role in the Olympic Games is broadcasting. Olympic culture. I was the president of the culture, IOC Culture and Heritage Commission for many years. Culture is equal importance as sports. Sports is create the athlete's body, but how about their mind, their inside? Without the culture, I think the athletes only not a whole person. They are not fully developed. So I think the culture becomes very important part. When the Olympic movement was founded by Kubertan is an educator. He emphasizing the culture, education are equal importance like a sport. So because of this creation, so during the games, many cultural activities, everybody go to the Olympic Games. You must bear in mind, not only to watch the sports competition, but also to take part in the cultural activities. Culture covers many, many things. I think during the games, a culture preparation will be happen in the Olympic Village to let all the young athletes having the opportunity to see the cultural part. I was the culture chairman, so I pay a lot of attention, bring the young athletes, particularly the athletes, if they have the art talent, art and also the education background. These are important for the game organizers to include them and create program during the games. So this is, I mentioned, because of the importance of this art and education, Olympic Museum then become another important element in the entire Olympic movement. I think IOC former president, I can say it's the late president, Juan Antonio Samaranch. Samaranch, I think, is one of the greatest collectors of the Olympic memorabilia and the philately and the stamps. Because of his collection, so he felt necessary to create the first Olympic museum in Lausanne, in the IOC headquarters. That was 1994. So after he had the idea, then he started to find a place, give the support from the Lausanne government, and provide the land. Where the money? So Samaranch started to have the fundraising and try to collect many funds from the international business people, organization, they want to donate. He collect finally $60 million and built IOC's first Olympic museum. I like collections. I think through my 32 years as an IOC member, I collect up to now more than 30,000 pieces of the collectible items, including 16,000 collectible items given to me by Samaranch. 2010, Samaranch passed away. But before he passed away, he called me to Barcelona. And then he showed me all his collections. I was extremely impressed by his collections. Then he said, after I died, I give you all my collections. So that is 16,000 pieces. So after he died, 9 months later, then his family met me, said, my father said, all these I'll give to you. So I think These 16,000 pieces of Samaranch collection, you know what is the value for that? 400 million euros. 400 million euro is a huge money, huge value. But I said, no, I want to build a Samaranch memorial to commemorate him. So this was done in 2013, 3 years after he died. And I built the museum open. It's called the Samaranch Memorial. It's one of the biggest memorial museum in the world. And many, many people come to visit. This is in the city of Tianjin. And so if all of you have the time, and not only can visit Tianjin, I have 2 museums built in Tianjin. One museum in Nanjing and one museum in Xiamen. So these are important. This is the foundation, a platform for the Olympic culture and also opportunity offered to the young people and students, Olympic education. So these are, I put on this additional. And also, I think Olympic, I talk about the broadcasting. So every games, we have the Olympic Games fire. And to keep all the Olympic Games, the competition, the games itself, and also the World Championships, all these films are very valuable. I think many people, they don't have the opportunity to visit the museum. Then I think I strongly encourage to visit the museum, then you can see a lot material regarding the Olympic Games. This can help you to understand more. Also, I think because the museum is set up, then I think many volunteer programs followed. And many students, they want to be the volunteer, work in the museum, and also meet with the people, particularly with the other young people. So this is a volunteer program, can also follow the Olympic Museum. So I like to emphasize, I'm going to build my 5th one, the 5th one in Taipei. And I hope this will be smoothly implemented and then make this Olympic dream very completed. 5 fingers, 5 museums. Thank you.